Hey guys, I am so excited because we are finally going back out on tour, and this is going to be our biggest tour yet. We are hitting a lot of cities, coming to a city near you, and this tour is going to be unlike the last tour and unlike any episode or case that we have ever presented. It's going to be an all new exclusive case, an entirely new approach, interactive with you guys, and it is just going to be so great. I am so excited to connect with all of you guys. I am very eager for you to hear this case, and it's just going to be an unforgettable night. So tickets are on sale now, but grab yours now before they're gone. You can get all of the information at annieelise.com. I will also link it in the show notes, and I'm really excited to see you there. So head to annieelise.com, grab your tickets, and I'll be seeing you soon. Hey everybody, welcome back to an all-new episode of 10 to Life with me, Annie Elise. I am here to break down another true crime case for you, and I guess I didn't think this through because I just realized I'm wearing a leopard print shirt and I have a leopard print chair, and I probably just look like I belong on a safari right now. And I have like this jungle print behind me. Okay, well, whatever. Whatever. We keep it real here, right? So, hi, sorry, my name's Annie, and I'm here to talk to you about true crime today, not about why I look like I belong in the jungle. Now, the case we're talking about today, the reason I wanted to talk about this one is because it's kind of complex in the sense that there was a lot of scheming going on and a lot of like secrets and lies, and quite honestly, I gotta just say, entitlement. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Because today's victim left a family vacation that they were on early, only for somebody to ambush her at her home the moment she got back from the airport. And before this murder, she had a happy family, a successful career, a ton of friends, a great life. But then, when the police started investigating, they not only found this elaborate murder-for-hire plot, but it involved lookalikes, it involved scheming, and the reveal of the true motive that I don't think we've ever really seen before. So guys, we're gonna jump right in. I'm going to keep it real with you. You know, life doesn't always turn out the way that we thought it would by a certain age or a certain milestone. Sometimes that gap between the expectation and the reality can also feel very heavy. I know it does for me. And for me, I have learned how much having somebody to talk to, someone who actually listens, it can change everything. Your perspective, your energy, all of it. And that's why I love BetterHelp, because a therapist can help give you an entirely new perspective. They also give you the tools to handle all of the curveballs that life can throw at you and just be there for you without any judgment. And BetterHelp makes it so simple. You just fill out a simple questionnaire and they match you with a licensed therapist in as little as a couple of days. And if for any reason you're not like vibing with that therapist and it's not the right fit, you can switch at any time with no extra cost. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 rating on Trustpilot, it's a platform that you can trust. Going to therapy is a sign of strength. It's not a weakness. And my sponsor, BetterHelp, makes therapy simple with 10% off your first month to help get you started. Take that first step today and go to betterhelp.com/10tolife. In 2015, 46-year-old Teresa Sievers lived with her whole family in Bonita Springs, Florida. She was fair-skinned, she had long reddish blonde hair, and Teresa was one of those people who would just never set foot outside of her house unless she was wearing 5-inch heels. Literally the complete opposite of me. I haven't worn a heel in like the last 5 years to save my life. But she was known for it. She was a very short woman, and so she never wanted to leave without wearing her heels. She also was just like so well kept. She kept her hair like perfectly curled, and it was kind of funny in a way. I mean, if you ever looked at Teresa, you would see this prim and proper, very like put together, very demure, very beautiful woman. And it's interesting too because she was pretty outspoken. Like she would say whatever just popped into her head when she needed to, or when it was something that she wanted. She never would be bothered or worry about rubbing people the wrong way. But then other times she could be very sweet, very kind, very caring. And that had been true since the day that she was born on November 19th, 1968. Her parents separated 1 month after Teresa was born, but after that, Teresa's mom was mostly in charge of raising Teresa and her 5 siblings, which, talk about a big family, right? But their father was still involved in their lives. Now, Teresa was a bit of a finicky baby. She cried a lot, and so much so that her older siblings asked if there was something wrong with her, but there wasn't. She was just, colicky or whatever you would call it. But from a very young age, she was kind of just like never afraid to let people know what she wanted. She would scream, she would cry. I mean, that was her. So Teresa was a pretty intense person, even when she was young. She knew herself well enough to know what she wanted, and she definitely wasn't shy about going after it and getting it. And her sister Annie said, "That's how we defined who we were. We were the Tottenham." There's an intensity to our family that's all from the Tottenhams. We love passionately, we love intensely, and without regret. We want truth, we want the best, and we get that strength from my father's family. And like I said, even though Teresa and her siblings lived with their mother, they were still very close with their father and his relatives. He taught them to never take the easy way out, which Teresa never did. She was kind of just like this all or nothing kind of person. So Teresa ended up going to school and college for being a nurse and then becoming a physician's assistant. And she graduated in 1996. Then she moved around a little bit to get experience in different hospitals all over the country. And at one point while she was moving around, she met a man online named Kenny Cousins. Now Kenny was 14 years older than Teresa, but neither one of them was bothered by the age gap. They dated, and then in 2000, they both got married and moved to St. Petersburg, Florida. However, the marriage didn't last very long. After 3 years, in 2003, they ended up getting a divorce. But it was all pretty friendly. I mean, they weren't bitter, they weren't angry after the split. They even stayed in each other's lives, just not in a romantic way. Now, Kenny was important to Teresa for one reason besides the marriage. See, he had some health issues that made him need to see an acupuncturist named Teresa Sievers. And Stacy and Teresa got along. And after Teresa and Kenny divorced, Stacy was basically like, "Hey, whenever you're ready to get back into the dating game, let me set you up with someone." In fact, Stacy introduced Teresa to her brother Mark. Now, Mark Sievers was the same age as Teresa and also interested in medicine. Specifically, he was a licensed nurse practitioner, and he was originally from Missouri. So in 2003, the same year that Teresa got her divorce, Mark came to visit his sister. And that is when he met Teresa for the first time. And it was pretty much love at first sight. I mean, everybody could tell, including Teresa's ex, Kenny, that they were over the moon for each other. And like I mentioned before, Teresa and Kenny stayed friends after they broke up. And Kenny was actually happy to see her moving on. He could see that Mark made Teresa happy, so he did have some reservations because Mark came across to Kenny as maybe a little bit insecure, and Kenny felt like Mark maybe was a little intimidated by Teresa's intelligence. But at the end of the day, all he cared about was that Teresa was happy. And since she was, everything seemed good. Well, after a few months, not long at all, Teresa found out that she was pregnant with Mark's baby. So the two of them decided to get married. They had a sunset wedding on the beach and everything was perfect. I mean, at the ceremony, Teresa even danced with her mom to the song "Wind Beneath My Wings" because really her mother was the wind beneath her wings. She had done so much to support Teresa and lift her up growing up and grow her into the woman that she was, right? And it goes without saying, but Teresa and Mark were both incredibly happy. 6 months after their wedding, their first daughter was born, Josephine. And then a few years later, they had another daughter, Carmela. In 2006, the whole family moved to Bonita Springs, Florida, and Bonita Springs is about 3 hours south of St. Petersburg, and it's known for its absolutely stunning beaches. It's tucked right in between Fort Myers and Naples, Florida, but it's much quieter than Fort Myers and also much less expensive than Naples. So it really was a good place for young families like the Sievers who were looking for somewhere safe and affordable to settle down. So they bought a large, beautiful home there and started making roots as a family. And it also wasn't too far from the hospital where Teresa worked, but her dream was to open her own practice, which she did before too long. Her company was called Restorative Health and Healing Center. Teresa thought that she could combine physical medicine with other mental and spiritual practices, blend everything all together into one treatment that really accounts for everything. Her sister Annie said, "She realized people had these emotional issues, and at the end of the day, your biography affected your biology. She had this sense that the general public was not getting the true information on how to heal themselves." And this wasn't just some random idea that popped into her head one day. Teresa kept going back to school and getting degrees in all different kinds of medicine, including alternative and Eastern medicine. She incorporated everything that she had learned into her practice, too. Now, with her own family, Teresa was always telling people to eat better, work out, take care of your body, live healthier lives overall. And eventually, Teresa became a vegan. She was also a really good cook, so she would make these vegan and vegetarian meals for people so that they could try them to show them, you can still get really great tasty food even if they weren't eating meat, eggs, and milk. And it might sound like she was really busy between her career and her cooking and everything else, but on top of all of that, she was a great mom. She also nicknamed her daughters the Little Mermaids. Plus, Teresa was super involved with nonprofits and charities. She was really trying to help everyone, ranging from teen mothers to human trafficking survivors to unhoused people. And Mark worked as an officer manager at Teresa's practice. He was the main person who was taking care of their 2 daughters as well. Now, for the most part, Teresa's employees really liked Mark, even though I guess he could be a little weird sometimes. But the point is, things were good. Mark and Teresa seemed happy and successful, and they were hitting big milestones together. So the whole family flew to Connecticut for a family reunion at the end of June in 2015. It was a big deal too, because Teresa's grandma was turning 75 years old, so everybody was getting together to celebrate this. Mark, Teresa, and the girls arrived on June 26th. But then Teresa flew back to Florida by herself on the 28th so that she could see a few of her patients the following day. Mark and the kids were scheduled to fly home the next day on the 29th. So that was the plan, and that was how things started out. On the 28th, Mark drove Teresa to the airport in New York City, and then he turned around and drove all the way back to Connecticut. They talked on the phone for a little bit, but then when she landed back in Fort Myers, Florida, she texted him to let him know that she landed safely and that she was going to head home. The next morning, Mark sent Teresa a good morning text message like always, but what was weird was he didn't get a reply. He then learned that Teresa never had showed up for work, which that was pretty weird and out of character for her because it was the whole reason that she had flown back a day early to go to work to see her patients, right? So Mark used his phone to check her location because he and Teresa always shared their locations with one another. Now, the phone said that she was still at home. So Mark's next move and decision was to reach out to a friend of theirs named Mark Podiatrist to ask him to check on Teresa for him. And we'll call him Mark P so that we don't get the 2 Marks confused in this. So that Mark P, told Mark the husband that he was at the post office but that he would check everything out as soon as he was done. But then, before he could make it to the house, Mark P tried calling Teresa a few times, and Teresa never answered. So finally, at around 9:30 a.m., he got to the front door of Teresa's home. He knocked on the door and he rang the doorbell, but she didn't answer. The house was silent, and it seemed like nobody was home. So Mark P called Mark and said that Teresa wasn't answering. So then husband Mark gave neighbor friend Mark the code to open the garage door so that he could get inside. So that's what Mark P did. He went right inside. And when he did, he found Teresa almost right away. She was in the kitchen, which was one of the first rooms you entered after coming in from the garage. And Teresa was right there on the floor, dead, with her head completely bashed in. And next to her, there was a bloody hammer just lying on the ground. Now, Mark P's first thought was obviously that somebody had hurt Teresa and that person might still be in the house. He was afraid that he was in danger too, so he ran out of the house, and then once he was away from the scene, he called 911.
911, what is your emergency?
I'm at a friend's house. He's out of town, and I came here to check on his wife, and she's dead on the floor.
Okay.
The address is...
Okay, stay on the line. Oh, sir, hold on,
Yeah.
stay on the line.
Yes.
Okay. You're doing very well. Good job. Just
Yep.
a moment, we're going to connect you. They're going to ask
Yep.
for the address. Ambulance and fire. What is the address of the emergency?
21034 Jarvis.
All right, repeat the address one more time for me.
21034. I'm police and a bomb
Okay.
picked up.
Okay, you said 21034 Jarvis?
I'm 27034.
Okay, and repeat that one more time.
27034. Jarvis.
Road. Okay, and is that a house or an apartment, sir?
The house.
What's the phone number you're calling from? Tell me exactly what happened.
My friend, Teresa Sievers, she's a doctor. I'm a doctor. She came home last night. Her husband is in Connecticut, and she was supposed to go to work at 9 o'clock. She called me, and I was on my way into work, so I swung by, and she's dead on the floor. And there's a hammer at the side, and she's bashed in the back of the head.
Okay, all right. Stay on the line with me, sir, okay?
Yes.
Stay on the line with me. Sheriff's office, are you on the way? Yes, we are. Okay. All right, and so you said you're a doctor?
Yes, I am.
Okay, are you with her now?
I'm outside of the house because I don't know if there's anybody in the house.
Okay, all right, so how old is Teresa?
She's 50s, 47ish.
All right, sir, and is she awake?
No, she's down on the floor. She's cold.
And
The back of her head is bashed in, and there's blood everywhere.
Okay. All right. So I do have paramedics, fire department, also law enforcement is on the line with us. Okay, they're going to be going out. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So I want you to stay on the line one moment. Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay here till I get here because I don't know if anybody's still in the house.
Okay. All right.
Was right.
All right. Just stay on the line. Okay. The sheriff's office has questions, and they're going to contact you on what to do next.
Okay. Sir, are you inside the residence then?
No, I'm not. I'm standing in the driveway.
Okay. And then when you walked inside the house, you said the blood was dry, or what did you say?
Yeah, half the blood is dry, half is wet. And she's cold. She's dead cold.
Okay, and there's the hammer sitting next to her, and you had left it, and did you touch anything?
No, I did not touch anything. I touched her. I shook her a little bit.
Okay.
She's dead cold.
All right, one moment. You're doing really well. So the last time you had seen her is what time?
Probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago.
2 or 3 weeks ago. Okay, and you said she returned today?
I don't know when she came back, but she was supposed to go back. She was supposed to go to work today at 9 o'clock, and her husband called me from Connecticut to say she didn't show up at work, and she's not answering her phone. And he checked her. He tried calling. He was going to call her mom, and he said, if you're swinging by, can you swing by? And I knocked on the front door, and nobody answered. And the lights were on. I could see her purses on the countertop, and she didn't answer. I pounded, and he gave me the key code to get into the garage door. I opened the garage door, and the door leading into it was open. One of the dogs ran out. I don't know if he left or not. And I walked in. I just opened up the door. I walked in the door, and she was dead on the floor. And there's a big bash in the back of her head.
Okay, is the vehicle at her house or no?
The vehicle is at her house, yes, in the garage. The garage door was closed.
Okay, and when you left, did you left the same way you entered, or did you leave the front door?
No. I touched her, and I just freaked out, and I walked outside.
Okay, when you walked outside, did you walk out the front door, or did you walk back out the garage door?
Back out the garage door, and I closed the door because the dogs were in there. So I did touch the handle.
That's all right. You just went through the. I'm sorry. Just a moment.
Yes.
So you went. I'm sorry. You just went through the front door or the garage door. I'm very sorry. Would you say it again?
I went through the garage.
Okay, that's fine.
Door.
And you entered you exited the same door. That's fine.
Yes.
And all right.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you were there because they asked you to take care of the house. Is that correct?
Mark, her husband, called me to say, please, can you check on her because it's not like her not to show up to work and be late.
Okay, so, and I know you told me before, but when, after he called to check on his wife because she wasn't at work.
Correct.
All right, and
I only talked to him once.
Okay.
And he gave me the code number. He sounded a little, whatever.
And he received a call from work saying she wasn't there?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
He's her office manager.
Oh, she's the office manager of his business?
No, he's the office manager of her medical practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where is he right now?
I believe he's in Connecticut. That's what he told me.
Okay. And you didn't see anything else, other than...
No, I didn't go in the house. I'm afraid somebody's in the house. Somebody killed her.
Right.
It's a murder. Right? She's bashed in the back of the head.
Okay.
I can't see her falling or anything like that. I just looked and I thought, my God, she's my friend.
Right, exactly.
So,
you're doing you're doing a fantastic job. You did a great job. The deputies are en route, and so is the ambulance.
Yeah.
And you're doing a fantastic job. I'm sure they're going to have a little bit further, more questions and everything for you. You're doing great, okay?
Okay.
I did let them know that you're outside.
The fire guys are here.
Okay, great.
And, let's go. Yeah, she's dead.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and hang up with me.
Don't hang up?
No, go ahead and hang up with me, okay?
Okay. Goodbye.
All right, bye.
When the police arrived, they could tell that the front door had been tampered with, and obviously Teresa's injuries weren't self-inflicted. I mean, somebody had come in and brutally attacked her. They also worked out the timeline pretty quickly, especially after they found CCTV footage of Teresa at Fort Myers Airport. The same clothing that she was wearing at the airport was the same clothing that she was found dead in. So somebody must have jumped her or followed her and killed her the moment that she got home. Yet something in all of this seemed off. I mean, while the front door was damaged, something about it seemed intentional to the police, like it was staged almost, yet they didn't say why. Plus, nothing of value was missing from the home. The family safe, which had more than $40,000 cash in it, also sat untouched. The couple also had a large jewelry and gun collection, and it was all still where it was supposed to be. So this wasn't like a burglary gone wrong. And in general, there was just very little evidence at the crime scene. Except they had that bloody hammer, they had the blood spatter, but other than that, it seemed like the perfect crime. Almost professional even. Eventually, an autopsy confirmed that Teresa had died from blunt force trauma. Her skull was fractured, her scalp had been cut open in 17 different places. I mean, this was brutal. So the time of her death was put as sometime around 2 to 4 a.m. on June 29th. And in fact, afterwards, some neighbors said that they did hear screams coming from the family's home that night between 2 and 4 a.m. Now, as soon as Mark got the news about what had happened to Teresa, he was completely devastated. Since Mark was out of the state at the time of the murder, he, of course, wasn't considered a suspect, but he still did do a brief interview with the police. He said that he and Teresa had a really great relationship. I mean, sure, they got on each other's nerves from time to time, but they lived together, they worked together, so that was pretty much expected. And Mark said that none of those issues at all were major. The good things between them definitely outweighed the bad. He also had no idea who would do something like this to Teresa. So since Mark couldn't think of any possible suspects, any possible motive, one early theory for the police was that there was a serial killer out on the loose. Earlier that year, 2 other holistic doctors had been murdered in Central Florida, which is a pretty specific pattern, right? But other than the fact that all of the victims worked in the same field, there really wasn't a whole lot to link these cases together or show that they were related. So the police were stumped. And by July 1st, they still didn't really have any sort of inkling as to what the truth was, so they decided to bring Mark back in for another round of questioning. Now again, they didn't really suspect him at this point, they just wanted more information. I mean, they were hoping that he would help them kind of find some sort of lead, connection, suspect, something.
Okay, it's your pace. Okay.
Thank you.
The dogs, are they loud dogs?
Oh, God, they bark up a storm. I walk in, they go crazy. They get
Even
babies,
for you?
Babies at Sadie, they stop. They hear the motorcycle, they go crazy. They get up in the middle of the night, go barking. I jump up, grab the gun. They see a rabbit in the front yard.
So they're sensitive?
They're very sensitive.
Okay.
Now, one of them is very old. Lucy has very bad hips. And that's why I really want to make sure she's okay, because she's on a special diet. We have the raw organic food in the freezer for her.
Right, to help her out.
I know they're not getting it. They're getting regular dog food and they have allergies to stuff.
Sure.
I just don't know how they're doing.
Well, sooner we can get them back to you, we will. Yes.
I asked Dr. Jamie.
I know Jamie.
Detective Jamie. Is there a possibility the dog spit the hell out of somebody? He says no. He didn't think that was the case.
Not that we observed. Okay. Yeah.
I was hoping.
Me too.
DNA. You know.
Anything we can get, trust me. We're looking at all ideas, and anytime you have an idea, I'm interested in it.
I got to ask you a question.
Sure.
I should have. Okay.
You can ask me whatever you want.
The first day, Jamie and Captain Murphy came out to the house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful as hell. We did. Thank you, guys. Before they left, they said, we're going to do everything we can to catch them. Is that just me hanging on every single word and dissecting it afterwards? Is there proof of more than one person?
The way when we say, let me answer your question.
It was a generic.
It was a generic comment.
Okay.
That's all it is.
And then, of course, I'm here. I picked it up hours later.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, was she tied up? Was she tortured? I mean,
right. That's fair.
Someone screamed at 4 in the morning. It's like, what happened?
That's the same questions I would have too. No, that's you pay attention.
And this is something I wanted to ask whenever we got here, and I just
no problem.
Forgot.
I don't mind you interrupting at all. It's no problem.
Okay. We have the special tape on our windows for my daughter's bedrooms. So if someone were to hit it with a bat, it's not going to break the window. They shoot it with a gun. It's going to make more noise to bring me before they come into the room. In addition to the alarms, we have that special film you put on your windows. Had someone come out, but had the house. Well, we got the house. We did that.
Okay. So it just made them stronger.
It makes it stronger and it's more resistant.
It becomes more like safety glass because it would peel as opposed to just shatter everywhere. Is what you're saying? Because it's tape?
I don't even know.
Okay, that's fine.
We paid money extra to have somebody come out afterwards because it was going to safeguard my girls' rooms.
Understood.
They do martial arts. My wife's learning how to shoot more, and it was just
right. Right.
We talked about her carrying. She has her permit. Her permit's in her wallet. She didn't carry a gun yet. She wanted to go back to the range.
She wasn't ready yet. She wasn't ready yet. That's not something you want to take on lightly. So it's good that she had that kind of perspective. Now, you've had a little bit of time, not a lot, a little bit of time since you've received this news. Is there any reason you could think why this happened? And when I say that, this is a very broad question. And what I mean by that is there anything going on in your lives at work? Your personal lives, anything that you've noticed in your neighborhood, any people you notice that spend too much time paying attention to you and your family, anything at all. Very broad question.
On purpose.
On purpose. Trying to get your mind a jog.
I'm trying to remember because I just had you tell me this last night. Them. My sister-in-law reminded me of a conversation with them over the weekend in New York. We have a medical center. A sterile medical center. We have a small office there, but we're part owner in the whole project. It's trying to go in a nutshell. We have the building in 4 acres. The building encompasses 4 acres and then 7 acres around it. We've been wanting to sell it. We had an offer on the table to buy it. The nuts and bolts. We owe $9 million on the building, on everything. We owe $9 million. If they take the building, they'd pay us $10 million for the building. Everybody gets a portion of that extra $1 million, whatever's left. And then they would take the land. They'd either pay us $2 million up front for the land, or we wait a year and a half and they pay us $3 million. No, fuck it, screw it. Sell it now. Money up front. Like, no, you don't know what you're saying. It makes more sense. It's a business opportunity. We go in business, we collaborate with them, and they build this memory center, and then at the end of that year and a half, they pay us more money. And she's like, it doesn't make sense. This is wrong. We need to sell it now for the money that they're offering. We had a lot of meetings and talks about it. Ultimately, it came out to say that what she said, they were saying the worst case scenario is they give us the $10 million for the building, they fall through on the land, we get our land back. And it's like, that's not how it works. No business is going to work like that. She was right. And push came to shove. They wanted us to go in business with them, put the land up as collateral. Mm-hmm. If their business failed, they lose their money they put up. We lose our land that we were trying to sell. Right. We also are now on the hook for whatever the monies were associated with that business venture. Sure. She was right on the money. Didn't know why. It was her intuition. And that was an issue. No one threatened her, but they didn't like it. Well, here shows up in the meeting. She's here for this meeting. She goes, I don't want to be in business with you. I don't know if she said you assholes or not, but she goes, I don't want to be in business with you guys. I don't want to be in business with anybody else, and that was something that was brought to my attention. Like I said, my brother-in-law bringing that up over the weekend, so she was still fresh in her mind.
Who is the company?
The Sterile Medical Center.
That's the company that you didn't want to be in business with?
Well, it's not wanting to be in business with. It's just that Sterile Medical Center has all the individual doctors, and anyone can do what they want. There's no rhyme or reason to it. They can bring other doctors in that are competing with you. She doesn't know the people. It wasn't anything personal.
It's trusting.
She's like, I don't know you, but we're in business together for 10 years.
Right.
8 years.
Make sense.
But we did that because we came into this project on the ground floor. Mm-hmm. So we have a percentage ownership of the whole thing, which up until now hasn't really been a whole lot. It's been more of a hassle, means increased rent.
Right.
Because nothing sold. And then this whole deal fell through. And I honestly I don't think it's significant, but at the same time, I have to look at it and say, you know what? I may not know what's significant.
Sure.
I think I'm clear-minded some of the time, but at the same time, I don't have your mind. I don't have your perspective on it.
Okay, well, I'll make a note about it, and when things calm down a little bit more, I can always get names of people and we can follow up and talk to them. Yeah. What about your neighbors? Do you know your neighbors? Do you know the people you live with in your neighborhood?
The ones on my immediate left are Torres, Kimberly, and I can't think of the husband's name. Nice guy, super nice guy. Kimberly's mom. We actually had that house. They bought it a few years back, 6 years ago.
They bought from you guys?
Yeah. We had a short sale on the house. Kimberly, Torres. We had an issue around Christmas time. Not with them. I would light fireworks off. Okay?
Sure.
I have two little girls. They like fireworks. I light them off from time to time. And one day, my neighbor from across the street, Rob, up until then, nice guy. Known him for 7 years.
So if I'm standing in your driveway across?
Straight across.
Gotcha.
And nice guy. We'd say, hey, how are you? Rob and Sandy. Murphy would get out last year or so. We watched me. He'd bring him back. My dogs would get on occasion. They'd call me. We got your doggy. He comes over to my house one time, knocks on the door. I'm in my underwear. I come out, and he starts yelling and screaming at me. I'm like, Rob, what's wrong? You're trying to burn down your house. I haven't spoken to him since.
Sure.
Because he needs to apologize to my wife and kids.
Relax, just do the breathing again. In through the nose. Slow it down. Yep. Breathe out. You're doing good. All right,
He was yelling and screaming that they were trying to burn his house down. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right.
He's like, because you're lighting fireworks off all of the day, all night, all hours, Right. And it's like, we've been doing this for 10 years. It's like, I've lived here for 8. I've been doing fireworks for 2. I understand you're mad. What's the problem? I have to climb on my roof every time and get all this shit. Would you like me to do that for you? I'm surprised you're addressing me like this. We were friendly. If you would have said, hey, Mark, don't do this. Do it down the street. Or this is what's happening as a result of your actions. Whatever. It's against the law. Yeah, I know. I mean, tell me what you want.
Right.
Talk to me.
Right.
You're coming at me with your fist and all that. I feel like hitting you. It's like, if you feel like hitting me, go ahead. It'll make you feel better. He's old man. He's 50. I mean, I shouldn't say old man. I guess I'm almost 50.
I know what you mean.
It's like, if it's going to make him feel, it's not going to hurt me. It's going to be one hit. If you feel like hitting me, go ahead. And we can talk this out. And he started yelling about my kids and about my wife. And it's like, girls, get in the house. And it's like, I would help you with this. And I go, I won't light any more off. I'm fine with that. It was before New Year's Eve, before Christmas, because I didn't, or before New Year's Eve, because I won't light off.
Last
well, what day is it? I mean, what month? It's July.
Today is now July.
Yeah, this end of December. This recently happened. Okay. And I'm like, I won't light him off then. He goes, yeah, right. He goes, you should have known not to do this. I go, you didn't tell me. I'm not a mind reader. Right. He goes, you should have seen. I go, seen what?
Right. So that's how that ended?
Yeah, so then another neighbor came out immediately to the right of him, and he comes to my driveway. I feel like knocking it. It's like, you feel like doing what? Who the hell are you?
Right.
I've been here for 8 years, and this is the most conversation we've had. Mm-hmm. Step off my property and get the hell away from me. Come running on my property. And it's like, no. And I haven't spoken to either one of them. Mm-hmm. Now, what I did that day, I went up. I guess actually I did that day. I went over to their house afterwards. And I settled down. I was so livid. Like, how dare you do this in front of my family? Yelling at my wife that she has a 3rd child, which is fine. I can take that. I act like a kid sometimes. I get it. Doing fireworks as an adult.
Whatever.
And, yeah, I go to his house. I say, hey, Rob, I just wanted to talk to you for a moment. He goes inside. And Sandy comes out. She goes, Mark, please, I go, Sandy, I'm not here to offer any trouble. I want to know what I can do to help you guys. You want me to climb on your roof? Want me to get these off? I'll do it. I didn't mean any disrespect to you guys. I'm not trying to burn down your house. I go, I don't know you guys. I thought we were friendly. My daughters made him a birthday card. They would buy bracelets. My daughters have their business. They'd buy bracelets. I would say, we had a rapport, I thought.
Right.
It's like, I don't know what set this off. And it's like, she goes, no, just go. And I go, yeah, I'm gone. But I have no hard feelings. And I walked across the other driveway. I wouldn't go in his driveway. He was there, and I go, I want to know if there's anything that you can get out of my property. I go, no worries. I just wanted to make my offer to you that if you had anything I needed to do because of my fireworks, I wanted to make sure I came clean with you because I didn't realize it was an issue.
Right.
I went away and I haven't spoken to either one of them. Now, Rob had occasionally waved. I just wouldn't wave back because I don't think you just blow that out. If you insulted me, I can care less. I'll wave, shake your hand, I don't mind. You yelled at my wife and kids. You owe them an apology before we say anything. And they liked them.
Right.
They liked them.
Right, but then that's
never happened.
strange. So
I'm sorry. So I'm going off on tangents.
All right. Anything else?
A week or so ago,
Okay.
I need to ask my daughter. I had on my phone to ask her today, and I forgot. We came home, and I can't remember the details. My wife came in the driveway. She must have been coming from work. Must have been on a Tuesday. Must have been at dance class. I'm trying to remember the time frames or what we were doing because it was just me. And I'm like, stay in the garage. So I think the garage door was open or something. The door going into the house was open. I opened the garage door and that door was already there.
Oh, it was already open.
The house,
not unlocked. It was open.
Yeah, it's always unlocked. It's one door I keep unlocked.
The door, once you come in the garage, the door to the house, you always leave unlocked?
When we're coming and going,
yes.
At nighttime, I lock it.
From the inside?
From the inside.
Right, but if you're away...
Right, yeah, when I'm away, it's unlocked because my mom feeds the dogs. Throughout the day, it's unlocked because that's how we come in and out of our house.
Understood. It's not until you're home for the night.
When we're home for the night, I lock it and I set the alarm.
Got it.
Put the wood down on the doors so you can't open it. We have cheap construction-grade sliders. I'm doing good. I'm not crying.
Doing great. Doing a really good job.
Okay.
All right, so recently...
I walked in. I told Jill, wait in the car.
It's a week ago?
Fucking day it is.
It's fine. Approximately a week ago.
A week or 2 weeks. In the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
And I had my gun with me.
Sure.
So I closed the door behind me. I walked every single room, the cabinets, everything, checked the whole thing out. Nobody was there. Like, good. And then my wife comes in the room, in the kitchen, and she yells, because I guess I didn't tell her. I just went in the house quickly. And not realizing that, or maybe I said something and she didn't hear me, or I thought I said something. And she goes, why can't you house? When I came back, I said, well, the door is open. And I think what I did was we usually set the alarm when I walk out of the house, set it on away so the dogs, set it on stay so they can run through the motion detector. I obviously didn't set it that time when we left for a few minutes to drop my daughter off, I'm guessing. Came home and the door was open. Now, another cause, not unlikely, is for Nana to jump up with her paw. Hits the lever and goes out.
Okay, so it's
a lever on the inside.
So you can easily, okay.
My front door we changed. It was a lever also. She'd get out the front door if we didn't do the deadbolt.
Wow.
So we changed the locks in the last year. So that's the only thing that I was thinking of. I can't think of anybody.
No one sticks out in your mind in your neighborhood?
I don't really know our neighbors that well.
Okay.
There are stories you hear about some neighbors. I've never had issues with them. So I don't know. You know, we're to ourselves. We don't let I'm very protective of my girls. She used to be my wife too. I couldn't protect her. Okay, stop.
Just focus on the moment. You're breathing. Just to iron out what I was talking to you about before. What you said, there's been no extramarital affairs on your part, and you told me that you're not.
You say extramarital affairs. I will split lines. I'm not an attorney, but I always focus on details. What you're actually saying. I have never cheated on her, and she has never cheated on me. Does that constitute extramarital affair?
I guess, yes. That's one way. It's another way to put it. Do you guys swing with anyone?
Okay. That's not is that considered an extramarital affair?
No. Okay,
then there's been no extramarital affair.
Okay, do you guys do you guys swing occasionally?
Very occasional.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only one direction. I'm gonna say this.
Well, I'm trying to help think of anybody.
I don't want this getting out because it's so far removed. They're still friends. There's no issue. No one else.
I'm trying to figure out motives and issues and things that happen, though. So you may think it's nothing, but it may be something.
She liked to have another woman with us.
Right.
She liked to watch me with another woman.
Mm-hmm.
She even liked to hear about me with another woman.
When she wasn't present?
Even when she wasn't present. And that was so seldom.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, okay. We talked probably 2 or 3 years because it was a fantasy.
Sure.
And I'm
building
like,
up to that.
I'm like, I was fine with fantasy. Fantasies are fantasies.
Sure.
It makes you, whatever it does for you, that's great. And strictly fantasy. And it's like, she wanted to normally, let's do this. And it's like, I really don't feel comfortable. I mean, it's a stupid thing for a guy to say, but at the same time, like, I love my wife. I truly am good with one person for her forever. Right. And it's like, I don't want her. My thought was like Psych 101. Are you saying it's okay because you're afraid to hold on to me? You're afraid I'm going to leave you. Right. You don't feel you're good enough. Right. You had your tummy tuck. You asked about a boob job. I said, no. She wanted to get her boobs done. I go, why? Don't you like big boobs? I go, no. I love you the way you are. Right. And that really was not an issue, but it was a point we talked about for a long time when she had her tummy tuck. Because she was going to tummy tuck and a boob at the same time. Mm-hmm. It's like, you are perfect the way you are, and I truly mean it. It's like, so no. And it's like, she wanted to know about bringing somebody in. It's like, I love the fantasy. That's great. You want to actually do it? Well, it took us 2 or 3 years before we got to that step.
Right.
Because I couldn't do that. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a self-esteem issue on our part.
Right.
We work so hard with our babies to build their self-esteem, do everything we can so they know their core strength is good.
Right.
I can't ignore my wife's.
Oh, I agree with you.
And so ultimately, we did. And it happened a couple of different times.
How long ago?
A year and a half or 2.5 years ago was the last time.
And who was it? Is it a close family friend? I imagine it would be.
Not a
built up to it, or it's a stranger? You knew him.
I knew her.
Her?
Me. I mean, and I also told her, we knew going into this, that her fantasy is for her to watch me with somebody. I never had that fantasy to share my wife. So it was strictly her watching me with another woman, or her being involved with another woman and me, or her being with the other woman herself.
Okay.
It was never another man.
But you set it up. She didn't pick out the girl. Or did she?
Actually, she did.
Okay.
She did.
And it's someone you guys still talk to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone who may be coming in here for the funeral, if she can.
I'm sure. She obviously cares about you guys, and you care about her, which is why you included her in that.
We also knew that was a one-time thing.
Okay.
We've stayed friends. It wasn't a weird thing for... I have a hard time with it. I would think it'd be weird.
Right.
I can't go there. And it sounds silly and corny. It's like, oh, you're the luckiest guy in the world. You got my wife, and yet she wants to open the door. It's like, actually, I didn't feel so lucky that my wife wanted the door open. I would have rather it just been us.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
You love your wife.
It's like, this doesn't exclude love, but I mean, it's like, I would have liked it to have been, am I enough for this? Why wouldn't this work?
Right.
Why do we need that?
Right.
And then she's like, I don't need it. She goes, I want it. I'm like, okay. It's like, and after a couple, 2 or 3 years, it's like we did that.
So how many times?
Oh, God, maybe 2. 1, 2 or 3 times.
Does she live here?
I don't even know where one lives. One of them lives in Orlando.
Okay.
I don't know who the other person lives in.
So it's 2 different girls a couple different times? Only 2 girls?
I'm trying to think. I think it's just 2.
I know this is uncomfortable, but you can understand here. If any of these girls fixated on your lifestyle and were jealous or things like that, people do silly things. So I'm trying to understand.
I know. I'm just
everything. Mark, come on. You got to remember this stuff. It's not something you're going to forget.
You know my memory.
Do you have any pre-existing medical conditions? Are you diagnosed with memory issues?
I really do have memory issues.
Okay.
I'm not trying to throw it out. I'm really trying to remember.
No. I'm not being a smart aleck.
No.
I'm trying to understand.
I go through chelation. I'm needle phobic. I get a needle stuck in my arm. They chelate to help pull heavy metals out of my body to help with my memory. I might have early onset to Alzheimer's or that kind of stuff. Not remembering conversations.
Have heavy metal exposure?
Everybody has heavy metal exposure.
Sure.
And
especially with deodorant and all that.
And the medicine that she does, it's a common thing that people don't check for.
Right.
My lead's off the roof. My mercury's off the charts. So we were working on getting that out. It's just been hard to get to the chelation. So I'm not holding back in that sense. I know it looks like if I was in your shoes, how many people you have? So you ought to know this, and I understand that.
Typically,
I know, and that's why I'm trying to be for. I volunteered this. I
know you did.
I opened that avenue for you.
I know you did. You're doing a good job talking to me and being honest.
Okay.
So approximately 2 different women. One lives in Orlando. One lives where?
I don't know where the other one lives. It could be Naples.
Any people you guys talk to on a regular basis?
The third woman.
Okay, third woman?
She's in the Miami area. Plantation, Miami, somewhere where that is. Fort Lauderdale, somewhere in that area.
Okay.
Well, that happened one time with her. But we kept in touch. We've been talking for 4 years or so. 3 years? 4 years. We went to a swingers party to see what things were like back in 2011.
Okay.
First time. Met her. I don't think anything happened that night.
Was that local swingers party, or did you go away for it?
We drove somewhere for it.
I don't know, in this city, this county?
Oh, no, it's an hour, 2 hours away kind of drive thing. I don't know where it was. Right. It was in Tampa, in Orlando at a conference. She met somebody, a guy. They're having dinner. It was just benign. And she had told me that she had contemplated on being intimate.
Right.
And she didn't, which is good because that would be cheating. And we had a long issue, long conversations about that, because we've always said, stop anytime. I'll stop now. I have no problems with that. It's always, I am not comfortable with another guy.
Right.
I won't share I don't want to share myself, but I'm not going to share my wife. You're asking, you want to do it, you got to do what you got to do. We can get divorced. I'm okay. Whatever you want to do, you have to do. It makes you complete and whole. But that's not for me. That's not my fantasy. You know, it's not what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We talk. We have open communication.
Right.
She understood. She apologized. She felt so sorry that I felt so hurt that she thought about it, or nothing happened, and that was it. Oh, I spoke to Nancy about it because of my feelings. What I was going through my mind, like, she thought about this. Does this mean we need to get divorced? Do we need counseling? What do we do? I mean, that was all those kind of scenarios. Sure. And it's like, of course, the response is going to be, well, you started on one side. Of course, it may lead to the other. And it's like I told her when we started all this, it's like, I want to make sure we're honest with each other.
Right.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And I don't want you doing it. You know, and we need to make sure we're good. So it's...
Should you keep in touch with that guy?
No.
What was his name?
I don't want to know his name.
Why? You guys still know him?
Well, I've never met him. He's in California. He's a pretty big guy in the kind of medicine she does.
Okay. She thought about engaging in an activity, and it doesn't, I mean, it's whatever. Nick what?
Delgado.
Nick Delgado?
Delgado.
And you said he's big time in that world?
Yeah. And so she was in awe because she knows how beautiful she is. I tell her all the time, I know it's true. Someone else is paying her attention, which every time she walks in a room, heads turn. Everyone thinks that everyone knows it's true about their wife. It is true. She walked in, people jaw drop. That's why I had such a hard time with this whole thing. It's like, why would you want me to be with anybody else? I only have eyes for you.
Right.
But it's what she wants. It's like
You're entertained, right.
So I had...
So is Nick Delgado the only guy she's brought up but said she didn't do anything with?
Absolutely.
Now, talking about your relationship, have you guys been contemplating any kind of separation or divorce? Has there been any marital problems?
No.
How about 6 months ago?
No.
How about a year ago?
No. Oh, she would talk occasionally. She gets mad. She has her temper.
Sure.
Which is not temper. She just yells. Your office looks like a mess. Our whole house is chaos. Clean your office.
Right.
This is the kind of thing that's going to make us have a divorce. Or the office, working together, having everything commingled, not having a personal life. We're at the office together sometimes. We're always talking about work at home. It's hard for us to have our time.
Right.
And she goes, this is the kind of thing that can cause marital problems. And she commented about divorces. I don't joke about the D word. I don't throw it around. I take our vows seriously. We have vows for 75 years. People say they'll be together forever. We're like, well, let's be real. 75 years is good. We put on our wedding vows. 75 to go.
You guys are funny.
So on our anniversary, on our 10th anniversary, it was 65 to go on our anniversary card.
Oh my God.
You know?
You guys are funny.
We are changing our relationship in the office. What she does to help patients is changing. Where she's going in her practice with Lenka, with the TV show, with the book she's going to write. With everything we were gearing to do.
Was shifting that dynamic
and
to where it would have created more personal time.
But it was also at the same time when she was like about stressing us. It's like, don't worry about us.
Right.
We are solid. I'm not going elsewhere. You're not going elsewhere. We have no issues. We know you have to focus. She was concerned she didn't have sex as much as I wanted. It's like, I never give you a hard time over that.
Right.
I could play with and try to get her going and stuff and say, leave me alone, I've got to go to work kind of thing. And I had done that for years. It's like, I respect you, I try to do that, and it's like, we're good. Well, we have sex once a week, once a month, or 4 times a day. That's not your measure of love for me.
No. Right.
And I know that. We have guys, we have other outlets. Right. Like, that's not going to be an issue. So we were all evolving into this great big world-changing machine. We even talked about Lenka and George and their 2 girls, me and my girls, going like on the road together, doing tours. Lenka would be doing talks, educating the masses on energy medicine, traveling around the country, around the world. I mean, we had so much in the next 5-10 years.
Okay.
I don't know if I just tanked some things or if I helped. They tarnished her image.
I have to get the full picture because right now, that's where I'm at.
Does it change your image of my life?
No, not at all. You're a human being. This is more normal than people think. And I can tell you from the work I do, this is way more normal than people think.
Seriously? Well, it's strange to me.
What's this? Yeah, it's something you didn't want to do, but it's more normal than people think.
Don't get me wrong, I wasn't doing it. Oh God, here we go.
I get it. It's not your preferred, but you're going to get on board because that's what you want. Yeah.
I wanted to make sure you know it, but it's like I'm so selfless. I mean, I enjoy it.
I know.
But
I'm not about to hand you some nice nails.
Yeah.
Now, I know that was a lot, but I feel like it provided a lot of context, and I would rather have you just hear it directly rather than me like regurgitate everything to you. But like as a summary, he's basically saying, they had this somewhat of an open relationship. She had this weird kink, and it stemmed from maybe a lack of self-confidence. While he didn't really like participating in that, she kind of almost painting her not as a sex addict, but something like that. And then saying, she would joke about divorcing, but that he didn't think that was funny. He took their marriage really seriously, and kind of making it seem like she had all of these, I don't want to say like quirks or kinks, but like for any sort of turbulence in the marriage, it stemmed from things that Teresa really wanted. But I think it goes without saying that after all of that, the investigators were a little bit suspicious of Mark. I mean, his grief just seemed so overplayed, and you saw how he would almost flip back and forth between almost panicking, then instantly changing the topic and acting very calm, almost like flipping a light switch. He was even making jokes and laughing just seconds before or after hyperventilating because he was supposedly so upset. So the police asked Mark if they could search his phone, and he consented. But when they searched that, they found a bunch of text messages between Mark and Teresa, and it was pretty clear that things between them were hot and cold. One minute they were very sweet, but then tension would pop up. Mark was constantly texting Teresa, telling her that she was amazing, he loved her, asking her for sex, quite often. And it seemed like at one point they were having sex all the time. I mean, even when they were both at work, they would book a meeting in a room in the office, and then just like in that meeting, they weren't talking about business, they would just like start having sex with each other. Like having sex so frequently that they weren't even waiting until they get home, which to each their own, but like feels like a lot. I don't know, maybe it's a lot to me. Don't judge my sex life, but that kind of feels like a lot. And Mark was usually the one who would initiate all of this. And even though it sounds like he and Teresa were hooking up pretty often, and even though apparently Teresa was the one who wanted to even try swinging, based on what he had said in that interrogation, he was also talking to quite a few different women. And this had been going on recently and regularly. I mean, you heard him before. He made it sound like the swinging had been a bunch of years ago, but his text messages, it told a whole different story. he still had a whole bunch of different girlfriends. And even though Mark said that he didn't want Teresa to go out and be with other men, his text messages, a lot of the time, were nudging her toward other people, sort of saying, go find someone to hook up with. And then Teresa sent him texts where she said he needed to go out and find himself another hot mama. So it seemed like it was pretty consensual in the open relationship swinging thing, right? But then as time went on, it seemed like Teresa was starting to get fed up with it all. In the middle of her workday while she was with patients, Mark would start texting Teresa just asking and demanding for sex. She would of course write back that she was busy, and one time she actually even told Mark, I'm trying to get ready. And Mark replied with, I did not require a response. This was an informational text, excuse me, as if your phone's not sleeping anyway. Have a nice day. So, definitely starting to get a little combative, right? Now, in the spring of 2015, Mark sent her a text saying, afternoon rendezvous with a question mark. But Teresa didn't reply. So Mark sent another text that said, I want to take care of you, exclamation mark. Actually, there were 2 exclamation points. And again, she just didn't respond. So then Mark sent another follow-up text, which said, I guess your lack of response is an answer in and of itself. Which, yeah, it kind of was. But Teresa actually replied to this one saying, Mark, I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of doing things. Which is get a grip, guy. If she's working and she's busy and you're like, I want to take care of you, I want to do this. And if she's not responding, don't keep pushing. Maybe wait for a response. I don't know, that's just me. Now, on top of all of that, he would text her about the smallest things all the time. A little under a month before she died, Mark had texted Teresa to tell her that she had parked her car outside of the office building, which she was the one who parked the car. I'm sure she remembered where she put it. It's not like he was passing along some important information that she didn't already know. So Teresa's reply to him was, Mark, this kind of helicoptering makes me crazy, and it shows me that you're more focused on me than you. Which, I gotta say, that would be incredibly annoying and irritating. To just constantly be getting flooded with text messages while you're trying to work, you're seeing patients, you're taking care of your family, all these things, to be hey, your car's outside. Great, I know it is. Hey, I took a poo today. Great, I don't care. Leave me the fuck alone, I don't know, that's just me. Maybe I am cold, I don't know. Now, Mark also used the Notes app in his phone as a diary of sorts. And he would write about how Teresa seemed just uninterested in him, how she treated him poorly, how his sexual needs were not being met, and how he felt like a, quote, leech because Teresa was the only one bringing in any actual money. And his longest entry came from March 2015. It said, these are my personal thoughts and feelings at the time that I enter them. If you're reading this, please stop. And then he just went on and on about how he thought that Teresa was cheating on him. He also said he only liked having sex with her, but nothing else. He didn't enjoy talking to her, spending time with her, nothing else. But he also felt like he wasn't getting enough sex. He literally wrote, I want intimacy, not getting it though. What little time we do spend together is annoying to say the very least. It would be nice to share that small level of intimacy with the woman I've considered the love of my life. Maybe, just maybe, our relationship is already over. He also wrote in that same entry that he wasn't sure how things would play out if they got a divorce. He was the primary caretaker for their daughters, and Mark thought that it was only fair that he get full custody. But according to him, Teresa treated him more like a babysitter than a father who was the main one responsible for raising his girls. So he wrote, if worse comes to worse and we do not stay together, she will have visitation, and I custody. So in April of 2015, he and Teresa apparently had a pretty tense conversation. Teresa said that she was stressed and overwhelmed. She didn't feel like Mark was making enough money for the family, and that made her kind of feel trapped. Then afterward, Mark wrote another note in his phone, where this time he said, I'm not very productive with my day. I had not really thought of myself as leeching off of Teresa until tonight. Then on June 5th, 2015, he wrote, she said sometimes, most of the time, she does not feel like we are going to make it. And then a little under 3 weeks later, he wrote, Teresa and I are in a good place. She has been kissing me unsolicited for the past couple of days. He also wrote, she said she knows she is attractive to me even though we're going through this. While for her, she loses that physical attraction to me. To which I honestly replied quickly that she is losing her physical appeal to me as well. She appreciated my honesty, but she didn't like it. So now it's like he's kind of confiding in his diary or his journal that they're both saying they don't find each other attractive anymore, or that, and that they appreciate the honesty of saying that. I mean, it kind of just feels like it's going downhill, right? And I will also say this, Mark sounds a little obsessed with sex, right? I mean, he was texting about it all the time, writing about it in his notes app. And he actually tracked he and Teresa's sex life in his calendar. In 2014, Mark wrote in his calendar that Teresa had fantasized about having sex with Mark and his best friend, Curtis Wayne Wright, who I'm just going to call Wayne because that's what everybody calls him. But Wayne and Mark looked very similar to each other. And Mark wrote that Teresa wanted to be blindfolded and have sex with both of the men. Then she wanted to try and tell them apart. Now, Wayne lived in Missouri, and Mark wrote that one time when Wayne was visiting with them, before he left to go back home, he whispered in Teresa's ear, maybe next time. So I guess Mark or Teresa might have told him about that fantasy, but I don't know, kind of feels like a sketchy friend, right? I mean, to hear about this sort of unusual arrangement and then say something like that. But the truth was, Wayne and Mark were super close. They had grown up together in Missouri, and they had been friends since they were teenagers. And as adults, they talked all the time, texting almost every day. And some of those text messages were weird. For example, in May, the two of them had the following conversation. Wayne, do not really want to use secure text, as I believe nothing is really secure once it's out there. Mark, is your mail secure at home? Because you could mail me your info. Wayne, did you get your card? Just wanted to make sure your gift didn't fall out. Mark, just got it. Wayne, call me. It's very simple. Since neither of us are likely to carry both with us, whenever you want to use the other, just text me other, and then when I can, I will call. So then after this, over and over, they would just text each other the word other, or the phrase, hello brother from other mother. The conversation between the two of them would stop for a while, but then it would just pick up like normal. So when the police saw this, it made them think that the two of them had some sort of other secret way to communicate with each other. Maybe like burner phones. And between June 25th and June 27th, right before Teresa's murder, the text messages between the two of them just stopped. Which was super abnormal because the two of them literally texted each other every day. On June 27th, Mark finally texted Wayne again, this time to say, no need to call me. Hope you're having a nice day. But Wayne didn't reply until June 30th. So this was all super suspicious, right? I mean, Mark's phone was just a gold mine in terms of motive. I mean, showing he was sneaking around, he was lying, that he was secretly communicating with his friend, maybe even with a burner phone, especially right around the time of the murder. And as bad as that sounds, not long after Teresa's funeral, Mark was found behind his office building throwing away a ton of computer equipment. Then there were the interviews that the investigators did with Mark and Teresa's friends and family members, and a bunch of them told the police that something was just off about Mark. He seemed messy, dysfunctional, and he also had behaved in a noticeably disrespectful way toward women. And in the last few weeks before Teresa's death, there had been some obvious tension between the two of them. Even their patients could tell that their dynamic was weird, and Teresa was apparently visibly upset. And as if all of that wasn't enough, the police got a huge tip on July 9th from a tipster who was out of the state. And it was such a big deal that the police flew out to Missouri to talk to this person in person. Now, according to this anonymous tipster, they had overheard a conversation between Wayne's wife, Angela Wright, and Angela's mom. Angela was complaining to her mom because her husband Wayne had decided that at the absolute last minute, he wanted to go to Florida without any notice. And this was around June 27th, just one day before Teresa's murder. Angela thought that Wayne was traveling for work. I mean, I guess he had done some IT projects for Teresa and Mark before, and Angela thought that this trip was more or less the same, except he had apparently forgotten to pack his phone, and he never left home without it. Yet he was now in Florida without it, and Angela had no way of getting a hold of him. She also said that Wayne had rented a car because she had recently crashed the family car. She ended this by saying that Wayne was going to return on June 29th, the same day that Teresa's body was discovered. This person also said that Wayne wasn't alone for this trip to Florida. He went with a man who was known as Jimmy the Hammer Rogers. So the police looked into both men, and they found that they both had very questionable pasts. Jimmy was only 25 years old, but he had been convicted of multiple felonies. Wayne had also been arrested because he ran a meth lab at one point, and he was also a person of interest in a missing persons case. So next, the investigators interviewed Angela and her family members. Angela insisted that Wayne did not go to Florida and that he was a good man. She was very argumentative, and she refused to admit that there could have been any way that Wayne could have been in Florida. But Angela's mom said otherwise. She said that once she heard about Teresa's death, she was suspicious right away because of that conversation that she had had with her daughter Angela. She also said that Wayne and Angela were struggling financially and that Wayne couldn't even afford a rental car or a trip to Florida on his own. Angela's brother also told the police that he was scared of Wayne. Apparently, Wayne had told him once before that he had killed a woman, an old roommate who had ratted on him for supposedly having that meth lab. And Wayne supposedly said, quote, "She took 5 years of my life, so I found her and I took her life." Now remember earlier how I said Wayne was a person of interest in a missing persons case? Well, it was this woman's case, the woman who turned him in for making that meth lab, and then she went missing, and Wayne basically admitted to killing her. But the police still didn't act on it because they claimed they didn't have enough evidence against him. So anyway, when the police asked Wayne and Jimmy about Teresa's murder, both of them denied having any involvement. However, shortly after the interrogation, somebody else called the police with information. Because yes, there was another tipster, and this time, it was Jimmy's girlfriend, Taylor. Taylor said that Jimmy had actually confessed to her that he and Wayne had killed Teresa. They had killed her for Mark. Mark had promised to give Wayne a cut of Teresa's life insurance money. $10,000 to be exact. Which, side note, remember how during his interrogation, Mark said that Teresa's life insurance had paid out $2.5 million? That was actually not true. It was even worth even more. I mean, something close to $4 million. So anyway, Taylor went on to say that after investigators interviewed Jimmy, he told her that they needed to go and they needed to get rid of a few things right away.
So what happens from there? At what point does Jimmy start getting rid of all the evidence? Does he have you start throwing stuff out of the window?
That was right after you guys came, the same day.
Oh, okay, so this was before you had the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So the same day that we come, so you don't even know that 100%, he hadn't even told you yet. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even know why he was throwing stuff out the window.
So tell me about what happens after we leave. What starts happening?
Well, he tells me to get in the car and that we're taking a ride. And I got really scared. And we went down to his work at No Run. And he went in there and drenched his phone in water and then broke it to pieces.
Where did he trench it in water? Like a puddle or a sink or?
A water fountain, drinking fountain.
At his workplace?
At his workplace.
That's Doe Run, right?
Yeah.
Where's that?
By Burnham, Missouri.
Where is it?
By Burnham.
Viburnum? Oh, okay. He has a locker there or something, I assume?
Yeah.
So he drenches the phone that he took down there in water, in the water fountain.
And then he crushed it into about 5 pieces.
How'd he crush it?
I didn't see him.
Oh, okay.
He just told me that he stomped on it and crushed it.
Okay.
So
what happens from there?
And then he gets back in the car, hands me a phone, drives down that highway right by his work. I'm not sure what it's called. I'm thinking it's Y, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But he hands me the phone and tells me to throw it out piece by piece.
Okay. And did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ask why, or you just did it?
No, I just did it. I was scared.
Okay. It's understandable.
And then we went to my mom's.
Okay. So what happens from there?
We just went to bed. We didn't talk about it in front of my mom.
Well, I know that, but you said that he had you throw gloves and a jumpsuit out of the window on Highway 47 East.
That was... I'm so confused right now. I'm tired.
No, take your time. I know it's been a long day. Take your time.
I remember getting rid of something before you guys came. Didn't I say that was the gloves and the jumpsuit before you guys came, or was it after? I don't know.
Before you told me after. It was after we got there.
Oh, yeah.
And you said
okay, so then, yeah, we went back by the house. That's right. We didn't go straight to my mom's. We went right back by the house. And we stopped there, and they got the stuff. Came out, brought it. He had it wrapped up in a towel.
He had it wrapped in a towel?
Yeah.
And what was inside the towel?
The jumpsuit and the gloves.
jumpsuit and the box of gloves?
Yes.
Okay.
And then that's whenever we went to my mom's, and on the way to my mom's, then I threw it out.
Okay. And this was on Highway 47 East where you took me today, right?
Yeah, towards Bonterra.
Okay. And he had you, were you driving in the front seat?
Yes, I was
Or the
running
back?
front passenger.
All right, front passenger seat. And why did you pick that specific spot to throw it out of the road?
He told me to throw it there because there's no houses.
Okay. You didn't want anybody to find it or see that he was throwing the stuff out? So
He wanted me to throw it in the river, but my reaction was a little bit late because I was tired and from you guys being there, and my mind was
racing, thinking about what's happening? Yeah.
So it took me a minute to click in what he said, and then I threw it out.
Okay. So did you throw the gloves first, or did you
I threw the gloves first.
Okay.
And then the jumpsuit.
And then you waited a minute and threw the jumpsuit?
Yeah, I waited a minute, then threw the jumpsuit.
Okay. And the jumpsuit that you took me to today, Sergeant Jacob,
As the
Son,
one.
and myself?
Yes, that's
is
the one that I threw out the window.
Without doubt, definitely.
Yeah,
the one.
definitely.
Okay.
No doubt.
And, okay. So now, and you still don't know anything about what happened yet, right? He tells you that night at your mom's?
Yeah, he tells me the next night at my mom's.
Okay, well, you're laying in bed.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys have, after that night, does
We didn't
anything
talk
else
about
happen?
it. Nothing else happened that night after you guys came. It was the next night then he told me what I told you.
Okay. So just from memory, I know it's hard to remember, from the day that we talked to you, that day you went to his work.
Yeah, that's the same day. The same day that you guys came there is the same day that we got rid of everything.
Of everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you took all that stuff, went to his work, and then started.
Oh, before we left though, right after you guys left, before we took off and took that ride to get rid of that stuff, he threw away those shoes in the dumpster.
Okay, the black shoes.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That was before we got there, or right after we left?
It was right after.
Right after we left.
No. That was before.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that was before you guys came. And then,
Was that because he heard that we were at Wayne's house?
Yeah, because Wayne contacted him and told him. And he also threw away my shirt in the dumpster that said Florida on it.
Okay. You left that part out, you might have forgot, but it's okay.
Yeah,
So
did.
he came back with presents for you from Florida?
Yeah, that sign that says, please excuse the mess, my kids are making memories.
Okay, that's the one that was hanging in the kitchen by the living room, right?
Yes.
And what else?
And then the shirt that said Florida something beach on it, it was white.
And what happened to that?
And threw it away with the shoes in the dumpster.
Okay.
Before you guys came.
Before we came, because that's because we were at Wayne's house and Wayne contacted him. What did Wayne tell him?
That you guys kicked in his door and held him in the jail or something like that.
Okay, did he tell Jimmy to go start getting rid of stuff, or?
I don't know, they just...
Oh, you just know that he called him and told him what happened?
Yeah, I didn't hear the conversation.
Okay, so right before that...
I just know what he told me, which was that Wayne called and...
And who threw him in the
told him
dumpster,
that
you or Jimmy?
Jimmy did.
Jimmy did? Okay.
He walked it down there.
Gotcha. And it was the shirt and the shoes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, I'm just going to speculate, but it seems like she was kind of jumping back and forth and had some difficulty keeping some details straight. I don't know if maybe that was nerves, if maybe she was on a substance. I don't really know, and that's just my opinion. But eventually, Jimmy told Taylor what had happened. He said that he and Wayne had killed Teresa. Taylor asked him if they had shot her, but Jimmy just laughed, and he said, no, they beat her with a hammer. Taylor also took the investigators to where they had thrown out all of that stuff. And there, they found a blue jumpsuit, and it matched some of the fibers that they had found on Teresa. The police also tracked down the rental car that Wayne used, and he had put over 2,700 miles on it during a 6-day period. The GPS showed that Wayne had driven all the way from Missouri to Bonita Springs, where the Sievers lived, and then he drove back to Missouri. But a few times along the way to Florida, he and Jimmy apparently made some pit stops. Once, they went to a friend's house where Wayne asked for Adderall to help him stay awake. Wayne told that same friend that he was going to Florida for a job, but wouldn't say what that job was. The GPS also showed that the men arrived at the family's home at 6 a.m. on June 28th, and we know that the house's alarm system was disabled right around that same time on that day, and we know that because the alarm kept logs, but also because Mark's mom was dog sitting, and she had been in and out of that house 3 times a day, at least every single day, and every time she finished up with the dogs and left, She made it a point of turning on the alarm. Except when she came to check on the dogs on the morning of the 28th, she was surprised to find that it wasn't set, even though she was positive that she had turned it on when she left the night before. Well, apparently when she left that day, she didn't set the alarm at Mark's request. He said that since Teresa was getting home later that evening, they just didn't need it. Which really didn't make any sense because Teresa would know how to get in and disable the alarm when she got home, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It sounds to me like he didn't want the alarm set because he knew Wayne and Jimmy were still coming and going during the day. And in fact, they actually left not too long after disabling the alarm at 6 a.m. Then, at around 11 a.m., their GPS said that they went to a Walmart. And from security camera footage, we know that they bought trash bags, wet wipes, black towels, black shoes, and a lock-picking kit. Then, they drove to a beach and eventually went back to the family's home later in the evening. Police believe they stayed there until Teresa got back from the airport. Then when she did, they ambushed her, using a hammer to beat her to death. Then, according to their GPS, they left the home and they drove back to Missouri. Now, besides the GPS records, the police also found surveillance footage at the places where the men stopped for gas. Plus, there was dog hair in the rental car that matched the family's dog, so it was pretty clear that Wayne and Jimmy had definitely been in that house. I mean, we're not talking about master criminals here. Wayne even went around telling people that he was the one who discovered Teresa's body. His story was that he went to Bonita Springs to help Mark with some work stuff, and that when they went inside, they found Teresa dead on the floor, even though that didn't match the official story of how Teresa was discovered before Mark got home from his trip. I mean, we're talking about some very reckless and stupid choices here, right? But still, there's more. Jimmy's boss called the police one day just out of the blue to say that in the days leading up to Teresa's murder, Jimmy had been acting really weird at work. And let's talk about where he worked, because he worked at a recycling plant, and according to the boss, Jimmy would know how to decontaminate a crime scene or himself, because he did it all the time for his job. He also said that Jimmy had requested time off to go to his brother's graduation, yet Jimmy had never mentioned that he even had a brother in the past, so it seemed suspicious. Police also found a weird Facebook post on Jimmy's profile. It was a meme that said, "One free murder. This voucher entitles you to commit one murder without legal, social, or financial consequence." And Jimmy posted this meme 3 days before leaving for Florida. Now, on its own, okay, sometimes people share dark things on social media without meaning it, but when you put that into context with everything else, I mean, come on, you're an idiot. So the police went out and they arrested Jimmy on August 25th, and they also tracked down Wayne and arrested him on the 27th. But at first, Wayne denied having anything to do with Teresa's death. I mean, full denial.
I think anybody being killed is wrong.
Let's put anybody away. Let's just talk about Wayne. Do you think the killing of is wrong?
Yes, I do. But
why do you think it's wrong?
Because she obviously wasn't threatening somebody or getting ready to hurt somebody that they, it would be a self-defense thing. It would be the only way that would happen. So
when you say that would be the only way it would happen, you mean that would be the only way it would be right?
No, not that it would be right. I can't judge right or wrong for somebody else. So no, I have no idea. I mean, I think that asking that question is, it's not even a real question. It's just part of the question. So
what's the right question to ask?
I don't know. I don't know what the right question is. Do I think that if she was about to pull the trigger and kill my kid, do I think it would be right to shoot her? Yeah. I mean, if I'm protecting my family.
Sure. Well, let me ask you this. Got to do something that you needed to protect your family for? Is that why you killed her?
No.
Is that why you helped Jimmy kill her?
I did not help Jimmy kill her.
Is that why you helped Mark kill her?
I did not help Mark kill his wife.
Did you help anybody kill her?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Let me ask you this. What's that line about? Were you in Florida that weekend?
No.
No, okay. And that's why we're telling lies right now.
I have no idea what he knows, but he knows that I didn't do anything.
How do you know that he knows that?
Because I didn't. Why would he think that I did it?
Because you did.
I did not.
Oh my gosh. Wayne, I'm telling you, brother, this is a judgment-free zone. I know what you did, man. Listen, what about Jimmy? What are you going to do when Jimmy says, hell yeah, I got recruited. I needed the money. What are you going to do then?
I don't believe that would happen either.
Why?
Because it didn't happen.
What are you did you say to Jimmy then?
I didn't say anything to Jimmy. I told you, Jimmy and I don't talk. Mark, my relationship with Mark is totally different. It's become more of a business relationship. I mean, we are friends above all, above everything. But our daily conversations are more business than anything. Somewhere in there they'll be tied in, house, family, whatever. But when I get the phone calls, it's not to say hello. Those that happen like in the evenings or things like that sometimes. But during the day when I get a call, it's because of something wrong at the office. And he needs me to tell him not to try.
Wait, what do you need to hear that's going to make you realize now's the time to tell the truth? Are you ever going to tell the truth?
I've already told the truth.
And you're telling me the truth is, I'm going to rebrief what you told me. You're telling me the truth is, you were in Missouri, you did not go to Florida the was killed, you went there after she was killed.
Yeah, we got the phone call the day after. That's whatever it was.
Were you in Lee County the day of death?
No, you keep asking me the same questions over and over.
I gotta ask you different ways to make sure there's no confusion here. Were you in Florida at all the day she was killed?
No, and
the day
you don't want to know. You're not interested in my answer.
You keep asking. I am interested. You know why I'm interested in it?
Right.
I'll tell you why I'm interested. I am. Look at me. I'm interested in everything that comes out of your mouth.
I let you engage me in a conversation that...
I love what's coming out of you because one, you have a funny sense of humor. Two, you're witty. Three, I love when you tell me things because it locks you into one story that you're in Missouri.
The truth, yes.
One story. It's not the truth. One story. You're close enough. You're so close, man. Because you give me these dark glimpses where the truth starts to come out and you look at me and I know you just want to either punch me out or tell me this. I see the look where you're like, you son of a gun, you got me.
Well,
listen.
No, that's not, that look is not you got me. That's
frustration.
I can get frustrated.
Yeah, but you get dark. I see the dark.
So
it gets dark and I get why. And listen, I want to lock you into the truth. Now, right now, you won't give me the truth, so I'm locking you into a story. And the story is, you are in Missouri, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, found. You say then you drove down the following day when you heard from Scott Sievers about Mark Sievers. You did hear from Scott.
Yeah.
Scott told you.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. That is a fact. That is completely confirmed. And the same techniques used to confirm that truth have been applied to your timeline before that, leading up to it. And these techniques have revealed that not only were you in Florida, that you were in Lee County, and not only were you in Lee County, you were in Bonita Springs where the Sievers live, and not only were you in Bonita Springs where the Sievers live, you were literally less than 5 minutes from their house at one point, and then not only that, you were on their street. So all of these things come together, and that's just one little facet of these facts. And the good part is, you're locking yourself into a lie. I have the truth, I show that in court, and that's what helps me get a conviction. That's how this works. Now, what can sometimes be beneficial to everyone is, here's why I did what I did, and I'm sorry for it, or I was defending myself, or I was under duress, being forced to do something. The truth, or versions of the truth, but the truth will always be what it is. There's versions, and that's what I'm going to get. I'll get the version from Jimmy, I get the version from you, I'll get the version from Mark, because eventually his lawyer's going to go, you're facing time, you're going to get something. You better tell the truth, because you have two little girls that need a father, so you better be around. And Mark's going to go, I've never been to prison, I've never been to jail. Wayne's badass. Jimmy is a young badass or aspiring badass. That is not me. I am not that guy. Can I get by? Sure. But that's not who I am. And I can't do this, so I'm going to have to tell the truth. I'm going to have to find a version of the truth where it puts me in the best light possible, and I'll try and do what I can do for Wayne. However, Jimmy I'll throw under the bus now that I know about him. Maybe I didn't know about him before. Whatever the case is, that's how it's going to go down. That's what will happen. the likelihood of everyone going, thick as thieves, brother, don't say anything, we'll be okay, as Mark loves to do this, where he's working through his negative energy and channeling his stress, he's not going to be thick as thieves. He's going to go, oh shit, I like going to the movies, and I like walking on the beach, and I like going to upscale malls and hanging out with my kids and just making projects. He's not going to want to go to prison and make paper-mache masks with the guy down in the jail cell that wants to beat up Mark, because Mark has had a life that he never got afforded. Mark will crumble. And definitely Jimmy will, because he's the youngest out of all three of you. And he's got a baby on the way. He's taken on little baby Luke as a responsibility. He's taken on little baby Heavenly. She's 2-year-old. She cracks me up. She's adorable. She's so full of piss and vinegar. He's going to want to buy into that and say, my dad ruined my life, my mom got killed, I'm going to be a good dad, I'm going to be a good husband, I'm getting out of this. I'm going to pull my parachute. I love you, Wayne, but we don't really know each other that long. We had a really good time, so be it. Good time on the beach, good time this, good time that. But I'm going to go on with my life. Plus, I don't want to die. I don't want to die in prison. He's going to turn. And then you will be forced to keep saying, I wasn't in Missouri this week.
But in the end, eventually, Wayne broke down and he gave a confession. He said that at his wedding in May of 2015, Mark had come up to him and told him that he and Teresa were having issues with their marriage. He said they were probably going to get a divorce, but he was afraid that Teresa was going to take the kids away from him. Mark also said that they were struggling financially. They were living paycheck to paycheck, and they even owed the IRS $30,000 in different back taxes. So after some discussion, Mark eventually decided that the only option was for Teresa to die. Mark said that if Teresa died, he would receive over $4 million in life insurance money. And he said he would give Wayne some of that money if he helped him. So the two of them, tale as old as time, planned how they were going to kill Teresa. And eventually Wayne got Jimmy to help because Jimmy supposedly owed Mark a favor. And then they used the burner phones to plan the murder. He said that they drove to Bonita Springs in a rental car, and then they entered Mark's home using a code that Mark had given them. Then they disabled the security alarm. However, no one was at home yet, so they left. They went to Walmart, the beach. Then they went back to the house where they just sat and waited for Teresa. They made sure to purposefully break the front door too to make it look like somebody had broken in. Unfortunately, we all know what happened after that. Now by this point though, Mark still hadn't been arrested and he wasn't cooperating with the police either. He had lawyered up. He refused to do any more interrogations. But finally, on February 26, 2016, they arrested him and charged him with second-degree murder. He pled not guilty, and in May, his charges were increased to first-degree murder. Teresa's parents officially gained custody of their grandchildren around this time as well. Now, Jimmy initially faced a first-degree murder charge, but in October of 2019, he was found guilty of second-degree murder and trespassing. With that, though, he was still sentenced to life in prison. Wayne, on the other hand, ended up agreeing to a plea deal. He got 25 years in prison for second-degree murder in exchange for testifying against Mark at his trial. And Mark's trial was in late 2019, and Wayne took the stand against him.
You said prior to, right?
Prior to getting married.
Yes.
Did Mr. Sievers ask to speak with you?
Yes.
And how did he ask to speak with you?
The night before he came to Missouri, he sent me a text message telling me that he had something personal that he needed to talk to me about. He didn't say what it was, but
okay.
He said that he'd hoped that we'd have some time to be able to talk privately.
So you're getting married and Mr. Sievers wanted to talk to you about himself?
Yes.
And so you said earlier that he had arrived at some point, either the night before or 2 nights before the celebration at your home. Did he ever tell you why he wanted to speak with you?
Not until the night before the wedding, or the day before the wedding, when he came to the house with everybody else.
And was this by text message as well? or in person?
Well, when he came to the house, we talked in person. So there wasn't anything else said about it until he came to the house.
All right, so and when he came to the house, and this is, again, the night before the wedding when you were having the festivities at your house,
Yes.
Mr. Sievers indicated that he wanted to talk to you about something.
Yes.
Did you actually get a chance to talk to him?
Yes.
And tell us how that conversation happened.
At some point during that afternoon, he asked me if we could go somewhere and talk privately. So we went back to my bedroom, closed the door where that could happen.
And when you went into your bedroom and closed the door, was there anybody in there with you?
No.
Just you and Mr. Sievers?
Yes. That's why we went to that bedroom.
And when the two of you went into your bedroom, was there anybody else present in your house?
There was a lot of people in and out of the house, between the yard and the house. I don't know who was there at the time, but...
So this is the day you were entertaining guests at your home?
Yeah.
And Mr. Sievers, you and Mr. Sievers separated yourselves from the rest of the group?
Yes.
All right, so when you're in your bedroom, what did you and Mr. Sievers, well, let me ask you this. Did he tell you what it was he texted you about wanting to talk to you about?
Yes.
What did he tell you?
He told me that he and Teresa were having problems, marital problems. He told me that she was having an affair, and that they were having financial problems as well, considering bankruptcy.
Did you believe Mr. Sievers when he was telling you these things?
Yes.
Did you have any proof that she was having an affair or that they were having any financial problems or anything like that?
No.
You took his word for it?
Yes.
What else did he tell you?
Well, we talked a little bit about, just different options. It was a short conversation because we got interrupted. At one point he said a hypothetical situation where if kids were going to be taken away and put into some kind of danger, that if I knew somebody that would be willing to help him.
Help him how?
We didn't get into the specifics, but my take on it at the time was maybe to have this guy run off, beat up, something.
So you thought that Mr. Sievers was hypothetically asking if you knew somebody who could beat somebody up for it?
Yes.
And how did you get interrupted?
People were looking for us. Obviously, there was a lot of people around.
Folks wanted to know why the two of you had separated yourselves?
Yeah, they couldn't find us, so they come looking.
Did you get an opportunity to speak with Mr. Sievers, or did Mr. Sievers seek an opportunity to speak with you again?
Yes.
When?
The next morning, when we were getting ready for the wedding.
The morning of your wedding?
Yes.
The morning of your wedding, Mr. Sievers wanted to talk to you again about his marriage?
Yes.
Where did that conversation happen?
At the park while we were getting ready. There was a point where it was just him and I again. So.
Okay. And what do you mean when you say when you say you were at the park getting ready? What does that mean?
I'm sorry. One of the reasons we had everybody at the house was so that we could all meet at the park the next morning, because it was an outside wedding, so we had to decorate, and things. I borrowed chairs and tables from our church, and we had everybody had to come and set everything up. So Mark and I were actually I think we were actually getting dressed when this conversation happened, but it was while we were kind of getting things organized.
So it sounds like you kind of had a do-it-yourself way.
Yeah.
You assembled all the table and chairs yourself?
Yes.
Did you hire a caterer or?
No, I have a friend that owns a small grocery store. Name's TK. TK. Not sure what his real name is. But that's what he goes by. He because he's in the grocery business, he has a wholesale account at a restaurant supply place where they sell all the bulk food and things. So he had offered to let me use his account, his membership, to go and buy everything that we needed so we could buy it at wholesale. So that's how we got that.
Sorry. Getting it at wholesale meant that you got it at a discounted price?
Yes. Much discounted.
Okay, so that Saturday now, you're out there at the park, you're getting things together as you were explaining for your wedding to your wife Angela.
Yes.
And I think you said you thought you and Mr. Sievers were getting dressed.
I think that's during the time when this conversation happened.
And what did he say at this time?
He brought the situation back up. This time he told me that Teresa was actually leaving him. The night before it was just that she was having an affair. So at this point it's getting a little more involved. He said that she was actually leaving him, that she was taking the children and taking them out of state.
Okay, so you at this time, your close friend Mr. Sievers is telling you on the day of your wedding that his wife's leaving him. Am I taking that correctly?
Yes.
Did you think he was kidding?
No.
What was his demeanor like? Did he appear serious?
Yes.
You told us earlier that the two of you were close friends, so when he told you about this, did you believe he was telling you the truth?
Yes.
All right, so now he's telling you while you're getting ready, he's telling you he thinks his wife's leaving him.
No, not that he thinks. He said she was.
Okay. What else did he tell you?
He told me that that the kids were in danger if she took them. That he couldn't let that happen. We talked about some different options as far as the marriage goes. I mentioned, about fighting her legally for custody. He said that wasn't an option. He wasn't financially in a place that he could be able to fight her for that. Just a couple other different things. I think we talked about maybe counseling.
When you say counseling, I mean, did you have a friendly discussion with your friend about what efforts he should make to stay married?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that would be a good way to describe it. I mean, ways of saving the marriage.
During that part of the discussion, what else did Mr. Sievers tell you?
I believe he said that they tried counseling and it didn't work. We got interrupted. The reason I'm not sure what else was said, we got interrupted in the middle of that conversation. So.
And what was this interruption about?
On the way from my house to the park, I stopped by TK's to pick up the food because not only did he let me purchase all this food through his account, he let me store it in his walk-in cooler, in his walk-in freezer at the store. So I went by the store to pick up all the meat on the way to the park. Thought we had everything, but once we got down there and people started getting ready to start cooking and things, we realized that there was like a whole case of meat missing.
All right, right, so, and your friend TK, he's in the food business as well himself?
Yes, he's got a deli in the store. It's kind of like a quickie mart kind of thing.
All right, so you and Mr. Sievers get interrupted again because there's a tray of meat missing. What does that mean for you?
Well, it could mean big trouble. The first thing I did was I called TK and asked him if he could check in his cooler and see if I missed something. He went and looked and said, yeah, that there was a box sitting in there. It just somehow it got missed.
All right, so how's that box going to get from TK's walk-in to your wedding at the park?
Well, somebody had to go pick it up.
Any volunteers?
Yeah, Mark offered to drive us over to pick it up.
So when you say Mark offered to drive us over...
I'm sorry, yeah. Mark offered to take me to TK's to pick the meat up and bring it back.
He didn't offer to go get it for you?
No.
And how far was your friend TK's Quickie Mart from, you said, was it DeSoto Park?
Yes.
How far is the Quickie Mart from the DeSoto Park where you were at?
20 minutes at the most.
Are things close together or spread out in that part of Missouri where you're living at that time?
It's pretty rural. Everything seems to be 20 minutes from.
All right, so Mr. Sievers volunteered to drive you back over to TK's Quickie Mart to pick up the box of meat you left there?
Yes.
And did you in fact take the ride with Mr. Sievers to pick up the meat?
Yes.
Other than you and Mr. Sievers, did anybody else go with you?
No.
Just the two of you?
Yes.
And it was in a vehicle that he had?
Yeah, I think it was a rental car that he got when he got down here, or got up there.
And on the way to TK's to pick up the meat, did y'all have another discussion?
Yes.
And what was that discussion about?
It was a continuation of the same conversation. So he brought it up again, told me, that she was leaving him, that he couldn't let her take the kids away from him, and again said that they were in danger, some kind of danger, without him there to be able to protect them.
Did he ask you to do anything?
Yeah, we talked about some more. It was the same options, just brought back up. And when we kind of exhausted that, he told me that really the only option that he had was for her to die. And he said that he needed to have her killed.
So finally, after a long road, on December 4th, 2019, a jury found Mark guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to death. He did file an appeal in February of 2020, but it was denied. And to this day, he is still on death row. Now, this case to me is insane for a ton of different reasons. First of all, he enlists his friend who's a lookalike to commit this murder for him, but it's also done in such a sloppy, unstrategic way, which we love to see it. We love to see it when criminals are stupid. It makes everybody's job way easier. But also, what was the motive here? Was it because I can't imagine it was because he really wanted custody of his children and all of that. I think that had nothing to do with it, because she wasn't going to take full custody of the kids, and he would still have alimony, I'm sure. There would still be child support, all of these things. But from the text messages and the fights, it leads me to believe that the motive was that he was pissed he wasn't getting sex from her anymore. He didn't even like the other parts of the relationship, that they were annoying to him, that all he cared about was the intimacy. So then once that was off the table, I think he just was angry about that, especially given that he was still talking to other women on the side. And I know I've said this a lot lately, and unfortunately it's because I've been covering a lot of cases where spouses kill other spouses, but you're not doing anything for the children. That is the most bogus, selfish, and false motive and reason and justification I think anybody can ever give, because You're risking your children that you claim to love so much, that you claim that you need to kill for. You're risking them losing both parents. That makes no sense to me. That doesn't equate. Just get a divorce. Figure it out later. That's why I think there was something else at play here, but I want to know what you think about that, because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's just me. But I can't imagine that it was all like this selfless plan because he felt Teresa had to go because she was going to take his kids away from him. Although I'm sure that's probably what he did tell Wayne. I would imagine if Wayne, especially during his interrogation when he was like talking about all the philosophical stuff of how he justifies murder and if it's for his family and to protect them, I could see where maybe in his mind he was trying to rationalize it as, she's going to take the kids away from my best friend, my brother, I have to step in, I have to do something. But I don't think that was really at all the situation. Not to mention they were all on a family vacation together. Like, it makes no sense. So let me know what you think in the comments below. It's just another senseless murder. But hey, they all are, right? All right, sorry, I'm kind of going off on a tangent here for a little bit, guys. All right, thank you guys for tuning into another case. Until the next one, please stay safe.